Good afternoon. The top of the hour here, 4 o'clock. I'm meteorologist Robb Ellis here, talking about the snow that has still yet to arrive for some of you. And I know if you're in Indianapolis, you're wondering, okay, where's the rest of the storm? Because there's nothing falling at the moment. We are in a little bit of a lull at the moment, but look to our west. There's almost a wall of snow that's going to be heading our way, and the rates here are going to be pretty intense. Now, the first batch that came through already has caused some major problems. I want to show you a couple of things here. I want to start with some traffic cameras. Now, this is a live camera that we are tracking westbound near Terre Haute on Interstate 70. This is about 15 miles from the state line. It's at mile marker 15.4. And this has been like this for at least 3 hours and probably going to take several more hours to clear. If you are planning on heading westbound, Interstate 70 is shut down. You can't use it. US 40 also has significant traffic. We're also starting to see the snow rates pick back up. This is going to take some time. Earlier, it looked a little bit more like this. This is a video that we had from earlier. We had some emergency vehicles there. They're slowly starting to clear things out, but it is still going to take a good while. Let me show you this as well. Look at the camera shaking as the snow bursts are coming down here. This is in Grant County. Still have Interstate 69 southbound between Fort Wayne and Marion shut down. For the most part, we are looking at snowy conditions and snow-covered roadways. We did have a 15-car pile up here. No word yet on any injuries. There were no injuries with that westbound 70 accident, the one that I showed you with the interstate semis. But this is going to be something we're going to likely see more of, especially as we get through the next few hours. I think we have about an hour in Indy of relatively dry conditions before things go downhill pretty quick. Here's traffic. Let me just put things in perspective for you. Here's the shutdown westbound. Here's Terre Haute state line. We are looking at 70 shutdown. I mentioned US 40 you could use right now, but it's likely going to become snow covered as the next round of snow is already moving through there. Broaden the view a bit, and when I do so, I'm going to point this out. This is Interstate 69 southbound where we have the accident that may have just opened things up. Well, I did see some traffic moving there, and we'll check back in with that in a moment, but also noticing things are really slow, especially Interstate 65 northbound towards Chicago. In fact, once you get past Lafayette, almost all of the traffic here is going very slowly all the way to Chicago and really over most of northern Indiana. Let's talk about what happens from here. We've got slowdowns. The computer is still showing the shutdown 69 southbound. This is very close to Marion. This is between, say, Huntington and Marion. This is the area we've been talking about for the last hour or so. Temperatures are still in the 20s for most of the areas to the north, and they've actually crept above freezing for most of the areas from Indy and to the south. But once that snow arrives, I think the temperatures are actually going to drop just a little bit before they raise again overnight. So we've got a few hours here. I think between about 5 p.m. and say 8 p.m. Once this burst of snow comes through, it's going to add additional snow accumulation. It's going to drop the temperatures briefly before they start to rise. And this is that line of snow that we're talking about. The rates here are much more intense than the round that came through earlier, which did cause some problems. We had some issues. That's what caused the initial shutdown in Terre Haute. But this is going to lead to additional accumulation, and it's starting to close the gap here between there and Indy. Now, notice if you look to the west, there appears to be a little bit of a bubble around Indianapolis. It's because of the way the radar works. The atmosphere at the surface is pretty dry, and as that beam goes out, it goes higher and higher in the atmosphere, and at some point it actually reaches the snow, which is what's happening here. But at some point the snow will start to overtake that, and it will make sure that the atmosphere is not dry as that snow finally reaches the ground. You're looking at a live picture from Indianapolis where, again, things are dry for now, but if you notice that radar to the west, already into parts of, say, Hendricks County, you're starting to see the snow begin to creep back in. And we expect that within the next hour or so, Indy will start to see some more snow, and this is where we will get the bulk of our precipitation. I think the bulk of the precipitation in Indianapolis will happen between 5 p.m. and, say, 8 p.m. Then we'll start to see a transition to rain. That's where things are really going to get a little bit more dicey for travel concerns. Let me show you this. This is really going to illustrate it. This is that area that's moving through. And notice, by the way, that the rain-snow line isn't straight across here. It's not really necessarily the temperatures that are causing this. It's the rate of the rainfall and snowfall. If the snow can come down heavy enough, it can actually drop the temperatures. And where those rates are heavy, it's why the rain-snow line dips to the south a bit before eventually moving back to the north. And once that moves over Indiana, we're going to see those snow rates pick up. We're going to see the temperatures drop briefly. And I think we're going to be dealing with a good bit of snow coming down, probably an additional 2 to 4 inches in Indy on top of what we've already seen in some locations. And I did see a report of Kokomo already picking up more than 3 inches in spots. So there are locations that have picked up some significant accumulation. That little bubble of colder air that moves through, here's about 7 p.m. It moves on by, drops the temperatures briefly, but then after that, temperatures are going to warm up. And once they do, this will transition likely to rain as the temperatures get close to 40 by just after midnight. And I've been advertising this for several days now. I'm concerned that all this turns to slush, the rain comes down, and then very quickly, I'd say within about 6 hours, we go from near 40 to maybe mid-20s, and that could cause everything to flash freeze. Now, most of the roadways will be treated, and that will improve conditions there, but for areas that aren't treated, that had a little bit of slush, then they get a little bit of rain on top of that, then it flash freezes, and potentially a couple of snow showers on top of that. Boy, roads are just going to be impossible if they have no treatment, and it's going to stay cold all throughout the day on Sunday, and probably not seeing any sunshine. If we were mid to upper 20s and saw some sunshine, usually that'll help to warm up the roads. I just don't know that we're going to see that, at least for your Sunday. Here's a little bit of a zoomed in view, and notice the temperatures here. Once this bulk of the snow arrives, watch as it comes in a little bit closer. Watch the temperatures drop a bit. See how it's 30 and 32 and 31 from Greencastle to Bloomington to Terre Haute? It's dependent upon the snow rate. Here, at least according to this model, by 5 p.m., the snow is just arriving, and watch the temperature in Indy. It's going to drop, and it'll drop just enough that I think we're going to start to see some real deterioration in the traffic conditions before it starts to rise again after we get through about 8 or 9 o'clock. So there's going to be a window over the next 4 hours where we're going to have some problems here. Colin, if you want to pop up that traffic camera, I understand we're starting to see some improvement on the interstates. Now, when I say improvement, here's what's happened. This is Interstate 69 that has been shut down. You are looking at southbound lanes approaching you. It's all those snow plows. This has been shut down because of a pileup. However, now they're reopening the interstate, but of course they can't do that until they plow it. So the plows are leading the way, followed by emergency vehicles, likely some salt trucks, and then the traffic behind that. Keep in mind that when you have salt that's going down, it helps the salt to work more efficiently if there is traffic flowing over it, helping to kind of spread that salt out a little bit and do its job. So this is the other issue that we've been watching. This is westbound on Interstate 70. And notice, by the way, that it's a little bit clearer there towards the top of this frame because they have been moving some of those vehicles and eventually treating the roadway surface. There's a couple of snow plows that have been kind of in this traffic as well, trying to do their job, but they can't move if the traffic isn't moving. So it's going to likely clear up within the next few hours, but boy, there's a lot of vehicles there to move out of the way. Some of the clouds lowering here near Indianapolis. There's still a little bit of dry air in place across the metro. That will likely be changing within the next hour. I think you have a good hour before the rain arrives, before the snow arrives and adds additional accumulation. I'm sticking with this map, 2 to 4. I'm still calling for it. I think we're going to see this quick burst move through, probably pick up at least 2 inches in Indy. Temperatures will drop. Farther to the south, we'll have to see where that rain snow line sets up. If there's anywhere I have a question mark in the forecast, it's really going to be, will this change over to snow or rain? What I think may happen, and this is just kind of looking at radar trends between Bloomington and, say, Columbus, I think you're going to pick up some snow with a couple of quick bursts. But it may happen so quickly, and then the temperatures may rise again so quickly. If you don't look outside for an hour or two, it may be gone. It may be snow that's coming down, then rain kind of washes it all out. Temperatures rise above freezing into the near 40-degree mark, and it's all gone. So this 1 to 2 may be realized for about an hour before it just melts away. The 2 to 4, I think, for Indy is pretty good. And then north from there, we're already starting to realize some of these totals. And as this next batch rolls through within the next couple of hours or so, I think we're going to make this forecast pretty much where we've expected it. But then there's this rain and snow melt that's going to compact things down a bit. And keep in mind, it's all going to refreeze as the temperatures drop again tomorrow. So it's warming up tonight and then dropping again for tomorrow. Temperatures will start out really before this. Before 6 a.m., it's probably going to be close to 40, and then the temperatures just stay in the 20s the entire day. Maybe a couple of snow showers on top of that. The 7-day forecast, though, keeps temperatures cold. I mean, there's not a day here that's significantly above freezing. May have a couple of quick late day snow systems that roll through Monday and Tuesday. This could add another inch or two on top of what we've already seen. Should not cause too many problems at this point. I think the roads will have been treated enough that we'll have one of these systems under our belt with no rain that's come through necessarily to wash a lot of the treatment away. So there still should be enough treatment that we don't have any issues. Again, dry in Indy for now. If you are just tuning in, I know you're wondering where the snow is. It is on the way. I promise you that we will be getting some snow here within the next hour in Indy, and likely will continue through about 8 o'clock. Carmel, still ongoing there with a break from the snow. This break could be good news to allow some more treatment on the roadways from the earlier pass of snow that came through. The golf course there. And again, you're looking live at this picture. This is from Interstate 69. We've had two major interstate backups here. One is Interstate 69 here in Grant County. This is close to Marion between Fort Wayne and Indianapolis. Southbound, that's the traffic coming towards you. This has just within minutes opened back up from a shutdown from a 15-car pileup earlier. That's an improvement there. This is still shut down. This is in the western part of the state. 70 westbound near Terre Haute, about 15 miles from the state line. Still shut down westbound. You can use US 40, but snow will start to fall and fall at a pretty good rate within the next hour or so here in Terre Haute as well. So that's only going to complicate things. There you see the radar. Zoomed in a little bit for Indy on the west side and northwest side, starting to see the snow move in. You have about an hour or so if you're in Indy before the snow arrives, and I think it's probably going to bring us another couple of inches to the forecast. Let me talk very quickly about what to expect with the radar. Let me go back to it again. I'm just going to reset my computer and just show you one thing before we leave you here. We're going to have hourly updates all throughout the day. There's the winter storm warnings that are in place. This will give you a good idea of where we are expecting the heaviest snow. From Indy and points to the north and west, the winter storm warning is in place. Lower snowfall totals means we don't reach the threshold for winter storm warnings. Winter weather advisories in place essentially from Terre Haute, the south side of Indy, all the way over to Richmond, and south from there, I think Bedford and Seymour, you just won't have enough to even reach the winter weather advisories. Keep it tuned right here. We'll keep you updated on any traffic concerns. We'll have another update at 5 o'clock, the top of the hour, live, and then also live at 6 on WTHR Plus, as well as WTHR for our 6 o'clock newscast after the football game. Keep it tuned right here and make sure you're staying safe out there, folks.